Alright, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. I'm Alexander, YOYO. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Today is Sunday, aka Sunday, July 26, 2026, 2626 there. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 33-page document, so a bit shorter than yesterday. Let's try to see if we can get this done in an hour. Here's hoping.
Yeah.
So
you're on.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Golden Loon here.
Yeah. Starting us off in the year 657, we have Battle of Siffin occurred during the first Muslim civil war between Ali ibn Abi Talib and Muawiyah the First beside the Euphrates River. All right.
Wait a second. The first Muslim civil war? Wow.
Yeah, 657.
Huh, how about that?
Well, I mean, the Muslim religion didn't start until roughly around the year 600 or something. Actually, when did Islam start? Let's see here. History of Islam, 7th century CE, which would be somewhere around 600. Like 700. 7th century is 600.
Could be.
I'm trying to find actual dates. This is saying 839 to 923 CE, but that's already after the First Civil War, so that's not right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's see here. History of Islam. So, history of Islam. Let's throw this into the underbar section. This link and any other link that we collect throughout the show will appear in the underbar, description below after the live stream. We already have a lot of cool things down there, though, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, which is our company, our studio thing. Our various sources, the music in the background, and a handful of other cool little things. So, moving on up to 811, Battle of Pliska, Bulgarians under Khan Krum defeated a Byzantine army, killing the Emperor Nicephorus, whose skull Krum had made into a drinking cup.
Oh,
how badass!
Oh,
I will drink the wine. I'll drink the blood of my enemy from the head of my enemy. Oh, a chunk of brain.
Oh God.
No, dude, I would love to have, I'd love to drink out of the skull of my adversary. That sounds...
Wow.
That sounds awesome,
Wow.
Hey, I'm a brutal man. What do you expect? 1184, Erfurt Latrine disaster. You're calling my car Latrine?
Erfurt Latrine. It sounds like a fart.
Oh, it's worse.
Oh.
At a Hoftag, which is some kind of party or something, a meeting with local notables organized by Henry VI, the building collapsed and many of the nobles in attendance drowned in the sewage pits below.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, this is way back in the day. There was no plumbing.
Yeah.
There was, but it was mostly just septic tank collection and stuff. There's a whole industry of people who came and scooped it up, maybe the evolution of the gong farmers from the old medieval ages. Those are the people who scooped up the poop from the bottom of the castle walls and all that stuff.
Like the guys that go suck out.
It's still around.
Houses.
Yeah. So basically, there was a giant septic tank under this building.
Wow. Yeah,
and there were so many nobles that the top floor collapsed from the weight, and the momentum kept going, and it made the bottom floor, the first floor, collapse right into the septic tank and everything. And a lot of people met their ends in there, and King Henry VIII actually, he was not the eighth, the sixth here. He actually was able to hold on to something from the top floor, some stone alcove or something. And so but he saw the whole thing happen.
Wow.
And I saw this event actually in a video. No, I saw it not too long ago, a really incredibly dumb ways to die or something like that. No. Anyway, 1267, Inquisition formed in Rome under Pope Clement IV. Inquisitions are never good. I guess this is supposed to be 1309. Henry VII was recognized as King of the Romans, the Holy Roman Emperor, by Pope Clement V. 1499, Spanish conquistador Alonso de Ojeda is the first European to sight Curaçao Island. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's image search this really quick. So, Curaçao Island. All right. So wherever, I don't know where Curaçao Island is. Would this be right here? No, that's Copacabana or something. I don't know. I don't know where Curaçao is.
It's right up there around Belize in that area today.
Oh. All right. 1509. Goodness, here we go. Krishna Krishnadevara ascended to the throne as Emperor Vijayanagara, marking the beginning of the regeneration of the Vijayanagara Empire. Really difficult words to say, Indian stuff right here. So, 1519, Francisco Pizarro received a world charter for the west coast of South America. Oh, wow, that's pretty big right there. 1524, James V declared fit to govern by the Scottish Parliament at the age of 12. 1529, Francisco Pizarro was appointed governor of Peru. He was a Spanish conquistador named as actually Francisco Pizarro Gonzalez. So he was appointed the governor of Peru. And then just 4 years later, Francisco Pizarro ordered the death of the last Sapa Inca emperor, Atahualpa. So that's pretty interesting. On the 4th year of the anniversary of him gaining the power, he's killing people. Or at least eliminating, political rivals potentially. It's terrifying. 1576, Spanish troops conquer Alost. Okay, I just threw that in there because we've been having some Spanish stuff, Francisco Pizarro and all that stuff. 1579, Francis Drake, an English explorer, discovered a, quote, fair and good, end quote, bay on the coast of the Pacific Northwest, probably in Oregon or Washington, in modern-day Oregon and Washington, of course. So, because like right here, it shows you he was up here. Yeah. So he skirted along the coast of California and somewhere in Oregon or Washington, which they both have good port cities.
Oh, yeah. They have all Seattle up there.
And Portland, Yeah. Not to be confused with
Even
Portland
up to
and Maine.
Vancouver, there's ports.
Yeah. 1581, Dutch Act of Abjuration declared. 7 Dutch provinces declared their independence from Spanish King Philip II. So we have the Plakat van Verlatinghe Act of Abjuration. The northern Low Countries declared their independence from the Spanish King Philip II, according to a secondary source. Let's do an image search here. So it's basically these Spanish Netherlands. That's the Union of Utrecht. This is 1579. This is 2 years prior. Hold on a second. That's not right. Here we go. Act of Abjuration. Well, this is using the same map that we just looked at. Huh. States of the Holy Empire, which is, Holy Roman Empire and everything. Eventually split up, become Rome. Oh, here's a better image, I think. So, the Gelderland, Overijssel, Drenthe, Friesland, Utrecht. Hey, Utrecht. There's good old Utrecht. Oh, the city and the country. Okay, so all of these declared their independence, I believe. 1588, English Admiral John Hawkins knighted for his actions against the Armada. What Armada and what actions?
Doesn't tell you much.
Yeah, it's just if anybody wants to figure this out, let us know what he did. Let's see here, John Hawkins. Throw him in there. Let us know what you discover in the comment section. Not just for your own information or for ours, but anybody else who's watching. Meander over to the comment section, see what people are talking about.
All you got to do is say something like Spanish Armada, something.
Yeah. 1609, English mathematician Thomas Harriot was the first person to draw a map of the moon by looking through a telescope.
Whoa, are you kidding me?
Then look at that. So that's the first 1609 right there. So that's the first map of the moon.
Wow. As
drawn through a telescope. Now we have since he's elaborated on that. This is obviously another hand-drawn thing, and they're starting to draw out the various craters and more details and everything. But right there, it shows you the advancement from left to right. If this image shows, so look at that. That's pretty cool. What else do we got here? We can get rid of that. 1656, Dutch painter Rembrandt van Rijn declared he is insolvent after living beyond his means and spending too much on artwork and rare items, leading to the most experimental and exuberantly creative period of his career. So he's.
I wonder if he was married.
Well,
I'm joking.
Well, no, because
living
he was
beyond his means.
Yeah. Well, no, if he was married, then he wouldn't be allowed to spend any of his money, but she'd want to spend it all on jewelry. So she'd be living beyond his means. Okay. So, 1663, French troops invaded Papal territory, Comtat van Assen. 1668, England and Netherlands signed the Treaty of Alliance at The Hague, Netherlands formalizing cooperative defense against France. I want to go back about this, like the Papal territory, the papacy actually used to have conquered lands and everything, not just authority, but actually their actual lands. Like how every other kingdom and empire and all that stuff, went out and claimed and conquered and this and that.
Okay.
Vatican did that too.
I didn't realize that.
And actually,
So at some point, then they gave it up or lost it.
well, they lost. I think
To
they
war.
lost it. Yeah, to war, because there was one point where the Vatican itself was getting besieged and losing the fight, and this is why the Swiss Guards are the only security force for the Pope and everything. Like, I think it was like 300 some odd Swiss Guards died defending. Ultimately, the Vatican was lost, but the Pope was escorted through this like secret way to get out and everything, so he was able to escape. But a lot of Swiss Guards laid down their life while he was doing that, and that combination is now set in stone. 1878, we got that one. 1703, during the Bavarian Rummel, the rural population of Tyrol drove the Bavarian Prince Elector Maximilian II Emmanuel out of North Tyrol with a victory at the Pontelizer Bridge, and thus prevented the Bavarian army, which was allied with France, from marching as planned on Vienna during the War of the Spanish Succession. 1745, the first recorded women's cricket match took place near Guildford, England. Yeah, so now we don't have to suffer, as men alone. Now we can bring them in to have to get brain aneurysms just trying to talk about the dang sport. So, 1755, Giacomo Casanova was arrested in Venice for affront to religion and common decency and imprisoned in the Doge's palace. Good. Yeah, this guy, Casanova, like a lot of people think, he was a romantic and everything. No, he was
much later. Casanova was.
He was
way later.
What do you mean way later?
Casanova was, I think, here or something. Or maybe it was. I don't know.
I thought this was the guy, because he's an adventurer, writer, and famous lover.
Oh, well, then that is him. My bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was much later.
No, well, I didn't even know when he was, but I just attributed I haven't heard this in a long time, but back when I was a kid, there used to be a saying oh, aren't you a Casanova, or you're a charmer like Casanova. No, Casanova wasn't a charmer. He was a freaking a hound dog in the bad way. He was like Glenn Quagmire from.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, he's not. It's not good. He's a pervert. He couldn't get enough. So, 1758, British battle fleet under General James Wolfe conquered Louisbourg. So during the French and Indian War, the siege of Louisbourg ended with British forces defeating the French and taking control of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. 1759, 11,000 British troops drove a token French garrison of 400 out of Fort Ticonderoga, New York. Holy, 11,000 versus 400? Yeah, we're out of here. Bye. It's yours. See ya. 1775, the U.S. Continental Congress created the United States Post Office, the USPO, in Philadelphia under Benjamin Franklin. So from other sources, it says the office that would later become the United States Post Office Department was established by the Second Continental Congress. Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania took office as Postmaster General. Yeah. 1778, the emigration of Christmas of Christians. Christmas. The emigration, meaning leaving, emigrate. Remember the difference between immigrate and emigrate?
Yeah.
Emigrate means they're coming in. Emigrate means they're going out.
Yeah.
So the leaving of Christians from the Crimea in 1778 began. So they're going away.
Yeah.
So, and I want to go back to make a little joke about Benjamin Franklin being the first Postmaster General. I wonder if that's why he invented the bifocals, or if he invented them before that and found more of a use with them. I don't know. New York ratified the United States Constitution and became the 11th state of the United States of America. Excellent. Welcome, New York. 2 years later, 1790, U.S. Congress passed the Funding Act of 1790, making the federal government responsible for debts incurred by the states. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. There are overlords, so they should have to pay some of the thing to, a reasonable level. 1803, the Surrey Iron Railway, arguably the world's first public railway, opened in South London, United Kingdom. Let's do a quick image search of this, just to see this really quick. So, I have this picture right here. Oh, there's Benjamin Franklin. Very fitting. National Postal Museum. It's on a stamp. It's Benjamin Franklin, and it's showing its printing press. It's showing, I don't know what this horse is. I guess the Pony Express, but that's much later. And then, of course, the that building in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania itself, Liberty Hall. Yeah. So many things in that photo. I absolutely love it. And then there's a train.
Yeah.
So, any other images of this train, other than AI? What does this say right here? The Surrey Iron Railway was the first public railway in England, probably the first in the world. The railway ran along this road on its route from Croydon to the mouth of the River Wandle, a distance of nearly 9 miles. Goods wagons were pulled by horses along a track of cast iron plates laid on stone sleepers, some of which are set in the wall below. Laid on stone sleepers, some of which are set in the wall below. The gauge was 4 foot 2 inches. See, here's the thing. There's two things I'm noticing here. One, it's an imperial, because the imperial measurement unit was invented by England, as was the word soccer. And for whatever reason, they decided to not only ditch their own invention, but then mock us for using it. Number one. Number two. But also, this is talking about, because initially railroads, the actual, tracks came before the engines because people didn't know about the engine. It was for horses. It was a set, thing for horses and all that stuff to have instead of paving an entire road or all that stuff, or just saying, you're gonna go out and bump on the wilderness, everything. No, you're just gonna have those rails.
Was there.
Yeah, just the rails, just for the carts itself, but it was going to be horse powered, and then the Industrial Revolution happened, and then everything else. But yeah, it opened in 1803 following the passing of the Surrey Iron Railway Act of 1801, and closed in 1846, the victim of the success of newer railways powered by steam. What I just said. And this was put in by the Wandsworth Society in 1994.
It's still around for 45 years. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. What else we got here? 1805, Naples and Calabria were struck by an earthquake, killing about 26,000 people. Ooh. Holy. 1814, the Swedish-Norwegian War began. 2 centuries ago, 1826, riots in Vilnius, Lithuania, caused the death of many Jews. And here we go again. 1835, first sugar cane plantation started in Hawaii. 1847, Moses Garish Farmer built first miniature train for children to ride. Okay, so we talked about in Russia, remember, in the Soviet Union or whatever, they built the first miniature train like a day or so ago?
Yeah.
Well, but that was in the 1900s, so I guess that was just for Russia. That was the Russians first. Because this says, this name's a guy. Not a country, not a company, not an entity beyond an actual human being. So this is, I would take it as the absolute very first ever world miniature railway for children. Especially because it's almost 100 years before the article we read the other day that I mentioned. 1847 as well, the Liberian Declaration of Independence was signed, making Liberia a sovereign nation independent of the American Colonization Society. All right, go Liberia. Isn't that an African nation, Liberia? Hold on a second. Where is Liberia?
It's in Egypt, Upper Africa, right?
Liberia.
Northern
Africa. Over here. That'd be Western Africa in the northern section.
Okay.
So
northwestern. Then.
Yeah. So it's down here. So it is in Africa. Man. So they were one of our colonies. We were colonizing Africa too. Holy crap. 1848, the University of Wisconsin-Madison was established by Nelson Dewey, the first governor of Wisconsin. 1858, Baron Lionel D. Rothschild became the first Jewish person to be elected to the British Parliament, and the world has never been the same again in the worst imaginable way, not because of what he is, but because of what he did and his family.
What did he do?
I'll play it right here, actually.
I just know the name, and I know what you think of him.
Let me play this section right here.
They started selling their English stocks. The English went into a selling frenzy to get rid of worthless English money. But the English won, right? Of course they won. But it was a trick by Red Shield. They waited until the stocks plummeted to pennies and then bought England back for nearly nothing. What? Did that? How? When the English leaders found out, they had no choice but to give themselves over to the Red Shield. Their money was gone, and they were slaves to the Red Shield war debt. Since that time, the English have been paying the national taxes directly to the Red Shield private bankers. The people had no idea. But the bankers bragged about what they did to us, laughing at us all the way to the bank.
Why, it's the best business I've ever done. If I can control a nation well, I cannot make its laws.
Now the Rothschilds, they own and control, they're the ones behind the Federal Reserve in the United States. I can go on about this for hours, but the Rothschilds, this Baron Lionel D. Rothschild, it's people like him that give Jews a bad rap, and why Jews are always, like under the boot, because his descendant, the guy, and that was an actual quote. If you don't believe me, look this up, viewers. This really happened, and they own the majority, if not all, of the central banks in every country around the world. It doesn't matter, who the leader is, who you vote for, whatever. They're the ones in control of the money. Money makes the world go round. Nothing else matters. They own us. So that's the answer to, all the articles we get about, Jews kicked out of here, Jews kicked out of there. Well, look at what this one's doing. You start to put the pieces together. Just saying. If you want to see this entire video, which I highly recommend, American Dream, it's about a half hour long, and it's animated for entertainment, but, like, this is all, like, essentially, like, historical fact. Like, some things are embellished and all that stuff for the sake of entertainment. I mean, Hollywood is Hollywood. This is not from Hollywood, but, it is content on YouTube. So take it with a grain of salt, but educate yourself out there, guys. The world is not what you think it is. 1861, during the U.S. Civil War, George B. McClellan assumed command of the Army of the Potomac following a disastrous Union defeat at the First Battle of Bull Run. 2 years later, we have the Battle of Slainville. Confederate cavalry leader John Hunt Morgan and 364 troops surrendered to Union forces after a 17-day unauthorized raid through Indiana and Ohio. So, U.S. Civil War, Morgan's raid ended at Slainville, Ohio. Confederate cavalry leader John Hunt Morgan and 360 of his volunteers were captured by Union forces. Well, there's 360 of them, so I guess they just turned around. So, 1865, Patrick Francis Healy was the first black Stadian awarded a Ph.D. from the University of Leuven, Belgium. Now, hold on a second. Yeah. It's saying here, African American. So, was he an actual, was he a black person with citizenship in the United States of America, or are we just calling all blacks around the world African American?
Well, unfortunately,
because this was
the reference is the blackness.
Well, but see, because this is in this was in where was it? Belgium. So why would first off, 1865. Now I'm not saying it's impossible, but the idea of a black person in 1865 United States having the means to study abroad like that, yeah. I'm not trying to say it's not possible. It doesn't make sense to me. So I think he's a native Belgium, a black guy, but they just won't call people black. So they called a Belgium an African American, even though he's not an actual American citizenship. But see, here's the other thing: Elon Musk is whiter than chalk, and he's an African American. I know. I'm not. But see, I have an idea. How about we just call people people? Why do we have to? Oh, he's Asian American, he's African American, he's Hindu American. He's this. How about just call him a fucking American? Okay? How about just call him a fucking human? Or if you really want to distinguish them separately for whatever reason, call them what they are, a black person. Nobody but you is offended by it. Nobody cares.
Well, we're talking history, so we need to identify whether it's a woman, a man. If it's something unique to a woman at that time, we need to talk about it as a woman.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean women aren't doing it every day today. But in history, you have to identify. Now, should they just call him a black one?
Is he a person? Is he a black guy? Yes. Okay, then call him a bloody black guy. Yeah. But they're saying African American in Belgium. Okay, did he have citizenship? I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I actually want to know. If he actually was a person of African descent, living in the United States, a sovereign citizen of the United States of America, studying abroad in Belgium, okay, now I understand. But calling just a black guy African American just because he's black, it's stupid, especially because the whole Elon Musk thing, nothing makes sense anymore. Anyway, 1865, the capital of New Zealand moved from Auckland to Wellington. 1 year after that, the Royal Canoe Club, founded by John McGregor, opened in England. The Royal Canoe Club. Oh, hoity-toity, look at this. It was just telling me about John McGregor. Nothing. Oh, here we go, Royal Canoe Club. I had to hunt for it. The oldest canoe club in the world and received royal patronage in the 19th century. The club promotes canoeing and kayaking, focusing on flat water, sprint, and marathon disciplines. Members of the club have represented Great Britain at World Championships and the Olympic Games. The club is based at Trowlock Island on the River Thames in Teddington, near London. The premises are also used by Walbrook Rowing Club, the Skiff Club, the Kingston Royals Dragon Boat Racing Club. Okay. Oh, let's throw this in the Royal Canoe Club. Cool. What else we got here? 1878, in California, poet and Stadium West outlaw calling himself Black Bart made his last clean getaway when he stole a safe box from a Wells Fargo stagecoach. The empty box was found later with a taunting poem inside. Oh, that is great. I gotta look this up here. That's just Black Bart right there. Let's see here. Well, this is going to require some digging. So if anybody can look into this, let us know. You know what? I'm going to image search this really quick just to see if I can see an image of the... Oh, here's a poem. Okay. But that's too scribbly. Can I bigger this? I cannot. So, all right. Well, if anybody can let us know in the comment section what the taunting note said, that'd be wonderful. 1887, 100 years before my birth, first Esperanto book was published, the publication of Una Libro, the founding of the Esperanto movement. I've very vaguely, like Esperanto, it sounds familiar. So, it was, he first introduced and described the constructed language Esperanto, first published in Russian on July 26, 1887. The publication of Una Libro made the formal beginning of the Esperanto movement. So this isn't Mexican or Spanish. This is...
It's kind of confusing.
It sounds like Russian, but Esperanto sounds like a Hispanic word.
I know.
Writing under
Especially Una Libra.
Yeah. Una Libro. First book. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, everything stems from Latin. So, let's see here. Writing under the pseudonym Dr. Esperanto. Oh, so it was his name. Zamenhof originally referred to the language as the international language. The use of Esperanto did not arise until 1889 when people began to use the pseudonym as the name of the language itself. Zamenhof reproduced a significant portion of the content of Una Libro in the 95 Fundamento de Esperanto, which he established as the sole obligatory authority over Esperanto in the Declaration of Balloon, ratified by the First World Esperanto Congress later that year. What the hell? There's a Congress around this? What is happening? Una Libro Esperanto. Okay. I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, what area of the world this came from, Original text. Well, that's Russian, so it's Russian.
Weird.
Huh. At Russian Wikisource. So it's Russian. Huh. Okay. 1890, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the Revolución del Parque took place, forcing President Miguel Ángel Juárez Clemen's resignation. 1891, France annexed Tahiti. Okay. 1892, Dahadepi Naraji was elected as the first Indian member of Parliament in Britain. It's pretty big right there. 1896, Vitascope Hall, the first permanent for-profit movie theater, opened in New Orleans.
Wow.
And I have that's an image of inside. Like, remember how theaters used to look like this before stadium seating?
Yeah.
Like, that was when I was a kid.
Not quite that ornate.
Yeah. Well, this was back in the day, when they actually cared about their products now and everything. I mean, like, I don't think anybody younger than the age of 25 even knows a theater before stadium seating.
They're always a single theater, 5-6 times the size of these now.
Yeah.
But they have 10, 15 theaters in there. But no, they're one big theater, that's it.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1897, 37.5 centimeters of rainfall was recorded at Jewell, Maryland, state record. I mean, what's that in freedom units? 37.5 centimeters, 2 inches. What would it be? 14.7 inches. So it's over a foot. So that's a lot of rain.
That's a lot of rain.
1897, Anglo-Afghan War. The Pashtun Fakir Shah led an army of more than 10,000 to begin a siege of the British garrison in the Makaland Agency of the Northwest Frontier Province of India.
Yeah. Fighting back.
Yeah. 1899, Ulysses Hieronymus, the 27th president of the Dominican Republic, was assassinated. 1902, Australia defeated England by 3 runs at Old Trafford. It has to be cricket.
Yep.
Or rugby. Is there runs in rugby?
No.
So I guess it's cricket. 903, Horatio Nelson Jackson, Sewell K. Crocker, and a bulldog named Bud completed the first automobile trip across the United States, traveling from San Francisco to New York in a 2-cylinder Winton in 63 days, 12 hours, and 30 minutes. Didn't we talk about that lady, though, being the first to drive across the whole country?
In a month or something, or whatever.
Or whatever it was.
Rode a bicycle or something, a 2-cylinder or something.
What?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not talking about recent. Like, you're thinking about the race with the 3-cylinder thing. I'm talking about months ago. We spoke about an article. Some lady, it claims her as the first.
So what you don't consider here is what kind of roads were they on, in 1903?
Were there roads?
Yeah, or were there even roads in some areas?
I mean, like, you're probably going to, best bet, you're just going to get this dirt path. There certainly wasn't pavement or anything. You're probably riding on wagon trails,
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, traveling through the brush and all this stuff. There's been enough paths, over a century by then to just, ride where the wagon...
Yeah, but you still have to go over the Rockies.
Well, yes. Yes, you absolutely do.
Stuff.
Yeah. What else we got here? 1908, U.S. Attorney General Charles Joseph Bonaparte issued an order to immediately staff the office of the Chief Examiner, later becoming later renamed the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
FBI.
Yes. 1914, Britain attempted to organize a conference among major European powers to resolve the dispute between Austria-Hungary and Serbia. France, Italy, and eventually Russia agreed to participate, but Germany refused. 1914, First Lord of the Admiralty, British Minister of the Navy, Winston Churchill ordered the British fleet to remain in a state of readiness as threat of war in Europe grows. Yeah, right around the corner.
Yeah.
14 as well, Irish volunteers unloaded a shipment of 1,500 rifles and 45,000 rounds of ammunition from Germany aboard Erskine Schindler's yacht, the Asgard. British troops fired on a jeering crowd on Bachelor's Walk, Dublin, killing 3 citizens. What is happening? Like, what is going on there? It's wild. 1916, the U.S. protested the blacklist issued by the British forbidding trade with some 30 U.S. firms. Okay. 1917, J. Edgar Hoover got a job in the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ.
Never left.
Yeah. 1918, race riot in Philadelphia killed 3 whites and 1 black. Death is death. It sucks. 1918 as well, Emmy Noether's paper, which became known as Noether's theorem, was presented at Göttingen, Germany, from which conservation laws were deduced from symmetries of angular momentum, linear momentum, and energy. That sounds pretty groundbreaking. Like how an underappreciated mathematician helped prove physics' most fundamental theories. That's big. So I'm going to throw this in here. Noether's theorem. Well, theorem paper, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is something I'd like to look into. What?
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. I'm actually going to start, I'm going to throw a lot more things than I usually do. Throwing this in history now as well, just so that way I can look back on it and all that stuff. What else do we got here? In 1926, 1 century ago, National Bar Association Incorporated. Now, is that like for legal, or is this for
National Bar Association?
Hold on, it might be like alcohol bar or something.
No, National Bar Association. They incorporated.
The National Bar Association (NBA) was incorporated. It is the largest and oldest network of predominantly black attorneys and judges in the United States. The NBA was founded. Okay, so. There's a lot of jokes that could be going in there. It's predominantly black, and it's called the NBA. Oh, man. What else do we got here? In 1926 as well, Philippines government asked the United States for a plebiscite on independence. 28, New York Yankees scored 11 runs in 12th inning, defeating Tigers 12-1 in Detroit. Wow. So it sounds like they were going 1-1, 1-1, 1. All right, that's it. Overpower them. 12-1. We win. Fuck you. 33, Joe DiMaggio ended a 61-game hitting streak on the Pacific Coast League. 36, International Communist Conference members in Prague arranged to create That's weird. That's okay. They created international brigades to help the Republican government in the Spanish Civil War. Okay, so that's to against Francisco Franco. So what we also have during the Spanish Civil War, Germany and Italy decided to intervene in the war in support of Francisco Franco and the nationalist faction. So we have, from primary source and that what I just read from secondary source, we have somebody trying to help the good guys, and then the bad guys helping the bad guys. We got it from both sides. That's actually pretty monumental. Like, if you think about it, we're getting it from both sides of view right there.
True.
That's really cool. Connected. 1936, King Edward VII, in one of his few official duties before he abdicated the throne, officially unveiled the Canadian National Vimy Memorial. All right, let's check out this memorial here. Well, not that guy, so screw that. Canadian Vimy Memorial. Show it to me. Oh, this one, 1936. Is it the same one? Yeah, so it's this one. I've seen this.
Have you?
Not in person, but I've seen images of it.
Never seen it.
Yeah, that's cool. That almost looks like a scene out of a movie. Like, it almost looks like it's, have you ever seen Toys?
Seen what?
Toys, the movie.
I don't think so.
Robin Williams. Here we go. Like, it's a really interesting movie, but, like, does this not look like the same kind of environment, just like just an open green and just like a structure, Like, it's very liminal. What else do we got here? 1939, Yankee catcher Bill Dickey hit 3 consecutive home runs. Mom's time. 1941, first group of the Dutch Volunteer Legion departed from Den Haag Central train station in The Hague for the Eastern Front to fight on the side of Germany. That's not good. 41, well, U.S. embargo on oil export to Japan. So during World War II, in response to the Japanese occupation of French Indochina, the United States, Britain, and the Netherlands froze all Japanese assets and cut off oil shipments. 41 as well, during World War II, Battle of Grand Harbor, British forces on Malta destroyed an attack by the Italian Decima Flotilla MAS. Fort St. Elmo Bridge covering the harbor was demolished in the process. 42, Roman Catholic Church's protests as Dutch bishops stand against the spread of Judaism. 43, we have 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 Celsius in Tishmonigo, Oklahoma, state record. That's an interesting name for a city, Tishmonigo.
Yeah.
44, Japanese suicide attack on U.S. lines in Guam. We also have Soviet troops arrived in Wyshesel, and I wonder if this is connected. During World War II, the Red Army entered Lviv, a major city in western Ukraine, capturing it from the Nazis. Only 300 Jews survived out of 160,000 living in Lviv prior to the occupation. Wow. 44 as well, the first German V-2 rocket hit Great Britain, nicknamed the gasometer, whatever. So, 45, after a Labour landslide in the general election, Clement Attlee became the British Prime Minister. So Winston Churchill resigned as British Prime Minister after election defeat. Now, ain't that a bitch? He got he helped the country live through the war.
Yeah.
And then they kick him out of politics. Fuckers.
He had a real love-hate going with the people. Sometimes they hated him, sometimes they loved him.
But I mean, he saved their ass, and then they kick him out. Fuck you.
And he had a big blunder too that cost him a lot of lives and everything. That's when they kicked him out one time.
Well, yeah.
Before this time.
Yeah.
Before, it was prior 1945.
Okay.
But maybe before we got in the war. I'm not sure.
I don't know much about Churchill's history. I know he got kicked out, replaced by Neville Chamberlain, and they got rid of him and brought Churchill back in and everything.
Yeah.
Other source says the Labour Party won the United Kingdom general election of July 5th by a landslide, removing Winston Churchill from power. 45 as well, Japanese government disregarded U.S. ultimatum, and I wonder what the ultimatum was. Like, at one point I knew about it, or I've heard about it. Potsdam Declaration. Is this it? But this is talking about Germany. So, this is defining terms for Japanese surrender. So maybe this is it here. Potsdam Declaration. I think we're going to be talking about it here in a minute, actually. 45 as well. Physicist Raymer Schreiber and Lieutenant Colonel Pierre D. Silva departed Kirtland Army Airfield to transport the plutonium core for the Fat Man bomb, the bombing of Nagasaki, to the island of Tinian, where the bomb is assembled.
We talked about that before. They transported that.
Yeah, well, we're still talking about it. The U.S. We talked about when, the same day that the Trinity test was conducted, and they proved the proof of concept. They loaded it up on the Indianapolis, and then they sent it off. Well, right here we have the U.S. cruiser Indianapolis reached Tinian with the atomic bomb. So during World War II, the USS Indianapolis arrived at Tinian with components in enriched uranium for the Little Boy nuclear bomb. I'm going to image search this really quick just to show. And it shows here, here they get to Guam.
Yeah.
And then they deliver the stuff for... actually, no, that's not to Japan itself. But they got here to deliver it to the stuff for the Little Boy. And I think Fat Man as well, I'm not sure. But then afterwards, they continue on their mission over here. And there's Tinian Island. So Guam is here, Tinian Island is here. So we just spoke about this when they got to Tinian Island. Eventually they sank. And total crew was 1,196. When they got hit by a Japanese torpedo or something and they started sinking everything. The initial survivors were 900. But... apparently, oceanic white-tipped sharks are thought to have attacked many of the Indianapolis crew because ultimately, at the end, only 316 out of 900 survivors out of 1,196 total crew, survived. So it's kind of wild. The ship that carried, arguably one of the most important ships in all of world history, with its cargo, and then it got sunk and most of the crew got eaten by sharks. Hollywood would never make up such a storyline in a billion years.
Can you say karma?
Well, yeah. 45 as well. U.S., Britain, and China demanded the unconstitutional surrender of Japan during World War II and the Declaration of Potsdam. What did I say? So, yeah, there's the Potsdam. 45 as well. The HMS Vestal was the last British Royal Navy ship to be sunk in the war. Loon's time. 1946, Aloha Airlines began service from Honolulu International Airport. 47, U.S. President Truman signed the National Security Act of 1947, establishing the Department of Defense, the DoD, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the National Security Council, and the United States Air Force, the USAF, as well as the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Wow.
Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff that was created with that. Dang. So, I'm just going to do a quick little image search just to show you. I mean, there's 1,000,001 images of presidents signing things, but I think that's him signing it right there.
That was all done on the vow to never be blindsided again.
Yeah. On July 26, 1947, the American National Security Act was signed into law, created by President Harry Truman. The act restructured the post-war Stadian military and introduced new measures of national security. After the end of World War II, President Truman proposed the legislation in February of 1947. Between February and July, the act gained consistent support and approval, signed into law by Truman on July 26th, and is taking full effect in September 18th. So, big. 48, Babe Ruth story premiered. Babe Ruth made his final public appearance. First black host of a network show, Bob Howard Show on CBS. Cool. 48 as well, President Harry Truman issued Executive Order number 9981 to desegregate the U.S. Armed Forces, directing, quote, equality of treatment and opportunity, end quote, in the military. Hell yes.
Time.
Yes.
Thanks to World War II.
Yeah, well. 1950, Dodgers' Jim Russell was the first to switch hit home runs twice in a game. 50 as well, KNIL, the Royal Dutch East Indies Company, united. Or Indies Army, not company, the Army, united. 51, Netherlands ended a state of war with Germany. Took a minute. So, 51 as well, Walt Disney's 13th animated film, thank you, Alice in Wonderland. Oh my, I just died. Okay.
Dude.
Alice in Wonderland premiered in London, England, United Kingdom. Hold on a second.
You have another switch. Are they all gone?
Yeah, apparently. Wait. Oh, there we go. Well, it's just the thing is being a finicky little finnick. Okay. 52, baseball player Mickey Mantle hit his first Grand Slam for the New York Yankees.
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
The Mick.
Yep. 53, Arizona Governor John Howard Pyle ordered an anti-polygamy law enforcement crackdown on residents of Short Creek, Arizona, which became known as the Short Creek Raid. Isn't Mick a racial slur or something? The Mick?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Nickelodeon?
But I want to know what this guy lived through as a kid with the last name of Pyle.
John Howard Pyle?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you saw how well Pyle was treated in Full Metal Jacket. You know, the fat guy?
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, yeah. Is that what his name was?
I think he was called Lawrence something. I think his last name in character was Pyle. Private Pyle, yeah, Private Pyle. 1953, we got that one. Cuban pirate radio station's first transmission in Santiago de Cuba. Fidel Castro led a failed attack on the Moncada barracks intended to spark a revolution in Cuba. So during the Cold War, Fidel Castro led an unsuccessful attack on the Moncada barracks, thus beginning the Cuban Revolution. The movement took the name of the date 26th of July movement. 53 as well, soldiers from the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiments repelled a number of Chinese attacks and assaults against the key position known as the Hook during the Battle of the Samachon Rover, just hours before the armistice agreement was signed, ending the Korean War. 55, Ted Allen threw a record of 72 consecutive horseshoe ringers.
That's wrong, though. The war hasn't ended yet. The Korean War.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so you could, because, like, we're in a ceasefire, not an end of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are correct with that. But yeah, 72 horseshoe. You know, 72 consecutive horseshoe ringers.
Oh.
You know, 72 horseshoe. 56, Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser announced a plan to nationalize the Suez Canal, initiating the Suez Crisis. So following the World Bank refusal to fund building the Aswan Dam, Egyptian leader Gamal Abdel Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal, sparking international condemnation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Nasser.
Yeah. Yeah,
He was very... Obviously, he nationalized things like that.
Yeah.
He was locked in with the Russians.
So he was an asshole.
I think they used Russian jets and everything like that. They got a new guy. They came over to our side, though.
57, Carlos Castillo Armas, dictator and president of Guatemala, was assassinated by a palace guard with leftist sympathies. It's always the left. 57, Mickey Mantle hit career home run number 200. 58, Army launched fourth successful U.S. satellite, Explorer 4. 4 for 4. 59, Chicago White Sox Larry Doby played his, Doby? Played his,
Dolby, I would think.
Dolby. Digital sound?
Ah,
No, that's
huge.
Dolby. Sorry.
Yeah. Would be 2.
Yeah. Well, no, D-O-B-B-Y would be Dobby.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, like, spelling from the Harry Potter little, whatever the heck gremlin he is. Anyway, Larry Doby played his final MLB game and retired in 1962 after playing for the Cincinnati Dragons in Japan.
Now, in theory, the Y should make the O sound like an O. So it should be Dobie.
Dobie, okay.
That's my guess. That's that old rule.
I'm no linguistician, so... 1962, Maria Olezhanov, first airship with nuclear missiles, arrived in Cuba. Well, in Cuba.
This was the,
it's an airship, so it's like it's a dirigible or something. And I have a pic here. That's when we discovered that there were missiles on.
Yeah, they were building up, and that's when they said, no.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, an airship. So here's missiles. That's in Russia. That's the Kremlin Wall.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they were using airships apparently to deliver. We never had anything like that, so that's weird. Apparently using airships to deliver missiles to Cuba, so that's interesting. 1962 as well, Milwaukee Brave Warren Spahn set home run record of 31 by a pitcher. His name was Span, right? Not Spawn, Span?
No, Warren Spahn is correct.
Oh, I actually pronounced it correctly this time. Okay. 63, Kosovo in Yugoslavia was destroyed by an earthquake, killing 1,000, killing 1,000 and over. So an earthquake in Skopje, Yugoslavia, which is present-day North Macedonia, left 1,100 dead. And I just want to do a quick image to show the various scenes of destruction. I mean, you've seen one earthquake destruction, you've seen them all, but it's no less breathtaking.
No.
You know, you just see these buildings gutted, and they look like, rotten fruits that are just collapsing in on themselves. It's wild. 1963, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development voted to admit Japan. Excellent. The U.S. CENTCOM-2, the first geosynchronous communications satellite, was launched. Now, do you know what a geosynchronous satellite is?
I do not.
You know what? I'm gonna look this up here, because there's geolock or something, geosynchronous orbits.
Some kind of communications, it says.
Yeah. is an Earth-centered orbit with an orbital period that matches Earth's rotations in its axis. Okay, so that basically like it positions itself and it stays there, matching the rotation.
Yeah.
So it is locked.
So it'll communicate from that spot.
Yes, it's always
Never
there.
change.
Yeah. Yeah, like I had that. I thought that's what geosynchronous meant. I also thought it was just orbiting, like, you know, that, but not hovering, because I mentioned something about lock, so I was right. 64, Teamsters president and U.S. Union leader Jimmy Hoffa convicted of fraud and conspiracy.
Yeah.
65, Republic of Maldives gained independence from Britain. This is their national day. We're still getting Independence Days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, July is the Independence Day month. You know, there's a lot.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, and that's one of the greatest contributions, you know, Britain has ever given to the world is Independence Days.
No, a lot of.
Yeah, because they conquered so much.
Yeah.
66, Lord Garnier issued the practice statement in the House of Lords, stating that the House is not bound to follow its own previous precedent. Okay. 67 as well, Minnesota Twins defeated the Yankees 3-2 in 18 innings.
2 games.
Yep. 2 games?
9 and 9. 9 innings of overtime.
Oh, okay.
So it's equal to 19 innings. It's equal to 2 games.
Yeah. On the way to the third, 7th inning stretch. 1968, during the Vietnam War, South Vietnamese opposition leader Truong Dinh Duo was sentenced to 5 years hard labor for advocating the formation of a coalition government as a way to move toward an end to the war. Well, that's terrible. You know? I might not agree with him, but, like, don't hard labor for trying to stop the killing. What the hell is wrong with people? 69, Sharon Sites Adams at the age of 39 became the first woman to solo sail across the Pacific.
Ooh.
That's awesome. 1970, Reds catcher Johnny Bench, playing for the day in the outfield, went 4 for 5 with 7 RBIs, including 3 consecutive home runs off St. Louis Cardinal Steve Carlton, and a 12-5 win at Riverfront Stadium. So they didn't bench him.
He's a great one, Johnny Bench. He's out of Hawthorne. I believe he's out somewhere over here.
I'm just, you know, making fun of like how you know, these sports are always like, oh, he's a bench warmer, and this guy's name is actually Bench, but he's getting, you know, like, ain't that a bitch? If you're a bench warmer and there's some guy named Bench getting more field time than you, I'd be mad. You know, he belongs here, isn't he?
Well, I wonder why they put him on the outfield, because he was their catcher.
Maybe to catch outfield balls.
Maybe needed a break.
Yeah. 1971, Apollo 15 launched with Scott and Irwin for the 4th manned landing on the moon. It was the first J mission and the first use of a lunar roving vehicle.
Ooh.
Yeah. 72, Priscilla and Elvis Presley filed for a legal separation. I did not know that he got divorced.
Oh yeah.
72, Rockwell received NASA contract to construct a space shuttle. That's pretty cool. 74, USSR Soyuz failed to dock with Salyut 3. 74 as well, Greek Prime Minister Konstantinos Karamanlis formed the country's first civil government after 7 years of military rule. Good. 77, the Committee of 10, formed by prominent Soweto residents, issued a program for the election of a new community board to have total autonomy in Soweto, South Africa. All right. We haven't gotten to Saturn yet. I wonder, like, have we not taken a picture? Well, what is this one? Oh, well, I guess not. Well, we'll get there. 78, Johnny Bench hit his 300th career home run. So here, they're not benching him again. So, 79, estimated 109 centimeter or 43 inches of rain fell in Alvin, Texas. Wow. 1224. Like, that's almost 4 feet of water, dude.
You're getting
like,
close.
Holy crap.
I don't know what period of time, but...
Yeah. 79 as well, Pioneer 11 transmitted images of Saturn and its rings. So here we go.
Yeah, you got it.
1979.
You're a little bit ahead of yourself.
Well, I was just making sure I didn't miss anything.
Right.
You know? So here it is, you know, somehow taking a picture of itself before the invention of the selfie stick with Saturn in the background. So obviously this is a Photoshop. But yeah, you know, these are like the first images of Saturn, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
81, New York Mayor Ed Koch was given the Heimlich maneuver in a Chinese restaurant.
Koch. Ed Koch.
81 as well, 2 climbers fell down 550 meters from a cliff near Angel Falls, Venezuela. Did they die? Like, what happened?
Yeah, that's...
Oh.
They didn't tell us anything.
Yeah. Well, I get here tragedy at at Angel Falls, 1981 climbing accident. So it sounds like
They should have died at 500 and some odd feet.
well, people have survived getting shot in the head. So the aftermath led to hold on a second. An event was a heartbreaking event that shocked the climbing community. But it's not telling me that they died. Yada yada. Due to the treacherous surroundings. Yada yada yada. Critical. Okay, well, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. So, Angel Falls tragedy. I'm gonna presume that they died because it's called a tragedy.
They're saying indicates they did.
Yeah, but they're not straight up saying that they're dead.
Why couldn't you just said their death from a fall?
Yeah. 82, Indian film star Amitabh Bachchan was seriously injured filming a fight scene for the movie Coolie. I hope they got a speedy recovery. 1983, light flashes were seen on Jupiter's moon Io. Is it lightning or extraterrestrials? Aliens. Light, U.S. threatens action to preserve navigation in Persian Gulf. 1984, Bowie Kuhn announced pitcher Vita Blue is suspended for the rest of the 1984 due to cocaine conviction.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Vita Blue, wow. Mm-hmm. Did not know that.
Yep. 84 as well, Montreal Expos infielder Pete Rose tied Ty Cobb with hit number 3,502. 86, Lebanese kidnappers release Rev. Lawrence Martin Genso. Alright. Ayo's time! Can I get through my life in 4 minutes?
No.
1987, pitcher Jim Catfish Hunter, outfielder Billy Williams, and third baseman Ray Dandridge were inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. 1988, Mike Schmidt set a National League record by appearing in 2,155 games at third base as the Phillies and New York Mets ended the game at 2:13 a.m. Fuck that. I'm going to bed. 2:13 a.m.?
Yeah, they have a...
Hell.
They have a curfew. They must have just finished it. Probably 2 a.m. is the curfew, and they'll finish anything they go. They'll finish the inning.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, then you'll
continue on next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1990. 1989. A federal grand jury indicted Cornell University student Robert T. Morris Jr. for releasing the Morris worm, thus becoming the first person to be prosecuted under the 1986 Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Good. And the Morris worm, it was a virus. So it was a worm.
Okay.
You know about worm viruses and everything?
Yeah.
Well, he invented them. The Morris worm, the first one. 1990, General Hospital recorded its 7,000th episode. All right. The U.S. defeated the Soviet Union 17-0 in baseball at Goodwill Games. 1990, U.S. President George H.W. Bush signed Americans with Disabilities Act into law. 91, actor Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, was arrested for exposing himself at an adult movie theater in Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
I bet that's his mugshot. Like, you caught me! Ah! I can only imagine in my head. But man, dude, that's the same guy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. So, it's 91. CFL assumed ownership of Ottawa Rough Riders. What's CFL?
CFL, Canadian Football League.
Oh, okay. 91 as well. Expos Mark Gardner no hits Dodgers for 9 innings, but lost in 10th. 92. Britain honors her dead in the Falklands War. Okay, may you rest in peace. Nolan Ryan struck out his 100th batter for the 23rd consecutive season. The guy's so fast, even his hat is like, let's go. Let me bigger this image for you. Does his hat not look like it's ready? Just let's go, come on.
Looks like speed.
Yeah. 93, Boeing 737-500 crashed in South Korea, killing 66 people. So Asiana Airlines Flight 733 crashed into a ridge on Mount Unego on its third attempt to land at Mokpo Airport in South Korea. 68 of the 116 people on board were killed. 93, the first of 4 photos of Mars were taken by the Mars Observer just under a month before the spacecraft failed in flight. These are probably not the... this was 93. This is 99. So these aren't the same photographs. This almost made it into the thumbnail, but this is 97, not 93.
Oh, okay.
So, but still, pretty cool photos and everything. Is this the photo right here? No, this is 2007. That's even more later. So sometimes it's really difficult finding things that are accurate. 94, Cambodia's Khmer Rouge surprise attack on a train killed 13. 1999, fighting ceased between India and Pakistan in the Kargil War, Kashmir, after 2 months of fighting. So the Kargil conflict officially came to an end. The Indian Army announced a complete eviction of Pakistani intruders. 2005, Mumbai, India received 99.5 centimeters or 39.17 inches of rain within 24 hours, resulting in floods killing over 5,000 people, bringing the city to a halt for over 2 days. Well, yeah, almost 4 feet of rain?
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Over 3 feet.
Yeah, over 3 feet, on the way to 4. 2005 as well, Samir Gaiga, the Lebanese Forces LF leader, was released after spending 11 years in solitary confinement. His release came after Syria ended its occupation of Lebanon. 11 years in solitary confinement. Dude, like, I can't even fathom how much of his mind he has lost. Like, Space Shuttle Program, STS-114 mission, launch of Discovery, NASA's first scheduled flight mission after the Columbia disaster in 2003. So the Challenger blew up on its way out. The Columbia exploded on its way back in. So, 2009, the militant Nigerian Islamist group Boko Haram attacked a police station in Bauchi, leading to reprisals by the Nigeria police force and 4 days of violence across multiple cities. 2012, at least 200 people were killed in a day of violence in Syria. We also have insurgent attack killed 19 people and destroyed a helicopter in Baquba, Iraq. North Korea was hit by a tropical storm, Cancun, killing 88 people and leaving 60,000 people homeless. 2014, Brian Ortega's victory over Mike De La Torre was overturned to no contest after testing positive for drostanolone, whatever the hell that drug is right here. So, yeah, I'm going to look this up here really quick. Chemical compound. That looks like, that almost looks like the molecular structure of acid. Like, DHT group was never marketed. An androgen ester product was formerly used in the treatment of breast cancer in women under brand names such as Drolban, Mastril, and Masteron. This has also been used non-medically for physique or performance-enhancing purposes. Huh. So, okay. So if anybody wants to know more about this drostanolone, I'm going to throw that in the underbar section.
I wonder if that's banned for athletes now.
Anything performance-enhancing, yeah. 2014, the Chinese government suspended a Shanghai meat dealer and made arrests after companies sold out-of-date meat to fast food chains, including McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Wow. Well, at least they're actually doing something right. Knowing China, they'd applaud them for putting poison in the food. 2014, while Israel rejected a long-term ceasefire that did not include destroying the Hamas tunnels, that we don't even know if they're there. They agreed to a 12-hour ceasefire. The Palestinian death toll in the Gaza Strip now exceeds 1,000. It's pretty one-sided.
What do you mean you don't even know if they're there?
Well, I mean, like, do we send in our own investigators, or we just take Israel's word for it, or are they making it up to validate going in and killing more people? I mean, we have the death toll exceeds 1,000 people, and the problem is not stopping. So obviously something's got to give. The problem is what started it in the first place. It's got to go. 2016, the Sagamihara stabbings occurred in Kanagawa Prefecture in Japan. 19 people were killed. Hillary Clinton, I want to explain something after. So, Hillary Clinton became the first female nominee for president of the United States by a major political party at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. Now, while I was going through, because this is from the secondary source, I was going through this, you see how I'm just scrolling through, and then this is 2016, so I got to really go through a lot of this. So I'm scrolling through, and then I see that. Just to show the viewers, I'm just scrolling through. Oh God, freaking evil. And then it reminds, I literally got reminded, the way I reacted was like this.
Next slide, please, D-Day.
That was my reaction. Ah! It's Hillary. The first, now here's a technicality. It says here, the first female nominee for president of the United States by a major political party.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that one lady who was nominated for president with Frederick Douglass as her vice president running mate.
Yeah, but not a major party.
Yes, exactly. Because I made a note here.
Yeah.
What about that one lady who ran with Frederick Douglass? You know, but then there was a technical, and then another. Explain your AOism. How the second source reminded me of that Animal House scene. You know. So,
Actually, that should read, what about the woman that Frederick Douglass ran with?
Well, that's the same thing, just said differently.
I know.
2016, Solar Impulse 2 became the first solar-powered aircraft to circumnavigate the Earth. Nobody wants to see the top of your head.
Okay.
So check this out. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you know, your face is a lot better thing to look at, believe it or not. You know.
I don't believe that.
Well,
but I have seen that plane.
Yeah, that's awesome. Though the whole thing is just solar panels. I'm gonna image search this just to, get another couple of angles from this. This is not it right here. They're completely different. That almost looks fake. Well, it has to be. The panels are on the underside. What are they doing? Unless you're flying over snow, they ain't gonna be useful. But then, there's like another one that looked AI. This one, that's the same thing. Trying to find it. There's this looks AI. Yeah, that looks absolutely AI, or at least like a concept image before they built the actual thing. 2017, Great Britain announced it will ban gasoline and diesel cars by 2040, and they're actually on their way to doing that, unfortunately. With there's so much stuff involving the burning of junkyards and the cash for clunkers, and let's I want to talk about the IOYO, my car theories. I want to let loose.
Okay.
So AO's car theories, electric cars, junkyards, burning. So, what else do we got here? 2017, Great Britain announced it. Well, we got that one. And we also have 3 live king cobras were found inside potato chip cans by customs officials in Los Angeles. Oh, that was here.
Oh man.
So,
wow.
I'm not surprised. It's just, okay, more. Yeah, they imagine, once you pop, the fun don't stop. Well, once you pop, you stop. Look at that. Inside, not really a Pringles, but like a Pringles-like container.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying. So, what else do we got here? 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a policy to ban transgender people from the military, overturning Obama-era changes. Good. I don't have anything against trans people, okay? You want to be whatever, you want to mutilate your body and live whatever fantasy you want to go for it. I don't care. But if you put yourself in a position where people actually rely on you and you fail to step up because you transition, and you can't physically handle, that whatever it is that you're transitioning to, you are a detriment to society and you need to be stopped. Plain and simple, hands down. It always goes one way. How many stories are there of women transitioning into men and just kicking men's asses left and right all over the field? Never once has it ever happened. Never once. But it's always happening across the board when men are transitioning to women, and it's destroying everything women actually fought for. I view this entire trans movement as a way. The trans movement is misogyny because it's bringing men into women's stuff and destroying everything actual women have spent their entire lives to achieve. It disgusts me. 2018, authorities in Stung Trens province, Cambodia, evacuated 25,000 people below collapsed Laos Dam as waters rise. Wow. We also have Facebook had the single worst day of any public company on the stock market, losing 19% or $119 billion market value. Good. May Facebook die. Observation of a black hole by the Very Large Telescope in Chile proved Albert Einstein's prediction of gravitational redshift, published in Astronomy and Astrophysics. We've covered when this was discovered, and here's the Great Space Donut. So, black holes exist. We have evidence of it. If seeing is believing. So, 2018, over 700 immigrant children still separated from their parents in the U.S. as a court-imposed deadline to reunite them passed. Thank you, Hussein Obama. 2018 as well. Sir Paul McCartney performed a secret gig at the Cavern Club in Liverpool where the Beatles began.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
2019, Australian cricket captain Meg Lanning recorded a T20 international world record individual score of 133 off 63 balls in a 93-run win against England at Chelmsford. Southern Stars clinch women's ashes. What? Wait. Southern Stars clinch women's ashes?
I don't know.
So is that a corpse, or is this another cricket thing?
I don't know.
What the hell?
I have no idea.
Or do they actually bring cremated people to cricket?
It is.
You know what?
I don't know what that is.
Do they paint the lines on the yard with the cremated ashes of dead cricketers? You know, I don't know. This is getting weird. 2020, the body of civil rights activist John Lewis crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma for the last time. He was beaten there 55 years ago with a military honor guard as part of a remembrance ceremony. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my body paraded around the area of my murder. You know, I wouldn't be too happy about that personally. Italian football giants Juventus won their 9th straight Serie A title with goals from Cristiano. Actually, hold on, I mispronounced that. Won their 9th straight Serie A title with goals from Cristiano Ronaldo and Federico Bernardeschi in a 2-0 win over Sampdoria. 2021, ship carrying migrants wrecked off the coast of Al-Qums, Libya, killing at least 57 and bringing the death toll in the central Mediterranean to 987 people for 2021. Tunisian government is in crisis after President Kais Saied sacked Prime Minister Hisham Meshidi and suspended parliament with the help of the army due to its handling of Kung Flu. Weightlifter Hilian Diaz became the first athlete from the Philippines to win a gold at the Olympics in the 55-kilogram class at the Tokyo Games. That's pretty cool. 2022, Russia announced it will leave the International Space Station at the end of 2024. 2 new studies published in Science confirmed Kung Flu most likely began in the Huanan seafood market in Wuhan, China, and it has since been confirmed that it was indeed leaked from that lab. You know, so it's just like it's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all propaganda. Don't believe shit from the media. 2023, actor Kevin Spacey was cleared of sex assault charges at a court in London. I don't know. This guy is creepo. Cambodia's authoritarian Prime Minister Hun Sen, in power since 1985, announced he will resign and pass his office to his son. 2023 as well. A coup in Niger as presidential guards seized President Mohamed Bazoum and ministerial buildings in Niamey. Former military intelligence officer David Grush testified to a U.S. House committee that the U.S. government is being kept in the dark about unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAPs or UFOs, USOs, whatever it is, whatever label you want to call them, there's weird shit happening that we're not being told about. World's largest office building, the Surat Diamond Bourse at 660,000 square meters, bigger than the Pentagon, was unveiled in the Surat, India by architectural studio Morphogenesis. And that's this building right there.
Whoa.
The thing looks like a freaking mega mall, dude.
Wow.
And it's enormous. Those are cars down there, dude. That is just the Diamond
huge.
Club. Huge! Why do you need a building that big? I would hate to pay the power bill. But it looks glorious at night. Look at that. That is awesome.
That's got to be a rendition of it.
Yeah, that straight up looks sexy right there, dude. Bigger than the Pentagon. Looks better too. What else do we got here? 2024 Marvel film Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Opened with the highest earnings of the year, $233.3 million in the U.S. and $438 million globally, dollars of course. And those numbers are incredibly embellished. As we know, Disney likes to lie about all that stuff. Opening ceremony for the 33rd Olympiad in Paris was held outside for the first time along the River Seine, with 85 boats carrying the athletes and performances by Lady Gaga and Celine Dion. So the 33rd Summer Olympic Games officially opened along... Okay, we got that one. So these are 2 articles of the same thing. 2025, just this time last year. We have 3 articles left, guys. Almost 140,000 civilians in Thailand and an estimated 38,000 in Cambodia fled their homes as fighting between the 2 countries intensified. Australian Defence Secretary Richard Marles and British Defence Secretary John Healey signed a 50-year bilateral nuclear-powered submarine partnership and collaboration treaty in Geelong, Australia. Good. And last but not least, or I guess it is least because it's this bitch, Beyonce ended the Cowboy Carter tour with a Destiny's Child reunion, the first time Beyonce and Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland have performed together in 7 years. Okay, that's pretty cool. And that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. These links will appear down there in a few minutes and everything. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion between our two sources. We have gone through all 33 pages of this document in an hour, in five-fourths of an hour. An hour and a quarter. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearning to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own, and find a better way to be better to one another. Was that you or outside?
Outside.
Oh, thank God. For your dose of Passive Insanely, we stream every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. What's the code word today? Let us know. For the audience, let us know.
Outside.
Outside. All right, put outside in the comment section. Let us know that you're still watching up until this point. But anyway, for all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Moon.
And UVRU. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Y'all, and y'all.